Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new League of Myths episode. If there's something you want me to test out, write it in the comments below. And if you end up enjoying this episode, please do throw in a like. The first myth is asking, will Rammus's Powerball in Bard's Journey hit another opponent that is in another Bard's Journey? So the first thing we have to test with this myth is, can Rammus even use his Powerball, go through the journey, and then still come out on the other side while still Powerballing? But judging from what happens here, the answer is yes. But also, out of curiosity, what if several targets kind of go through each other through two different journeys, as you see right here? No interaction actually occurs, and the targets on the enemy team don't more or less hit each other and knock themselves out. However, now let's put Rammus's Powerball into the equation, doing the exact same thing we just did in the previous clip. And you're gonna see Rammus knock out the enemy opponent using the other journey on the opposite way, all thanks to the Powerball. Moving on to the next myth, what is the interaction with Vel'Koz's W and Yasuo's Windwall? So this one I actually learned myself just now as well, because I've always thought that Vel'Koz's W, as you see in this clip, is a ground type ability that is not considered a projectile. Especially when you compare it with something else like a Vel'Koz Q, for instance, that is looking just like a projectile and can easily be blocked by Windwall. But moving on to test the W, you're gonna see that the red rectangle around the W makes it seem like it wants to go through the Windwall, but the Windwall actually stops the W, even though the ability itself doesn't really look like it's a projectile. But as somewhat of an interesting find, if you use the Windwall a little too late, I mean, it'll still block it. However, if any portion of the W actually made it through the Windwall, it'll then erupt and deal damage on the other side. And to just kind of throw this in there in case people were not aware, Windwall will not block Vel'Koz's ultimate because it is not considered a projectile. The following myth is asking, can Twitch's ultimate hit both Nexus towers at the same time? So we all know and love Twitch's ultimate because it can do so much damage in teamfights if you position correctly, but did you also know that the Twitch ultimate can be used to hit both of the Nexus towers at the same time? This is actually extremely strong if you utilize it properly, especially when you're trying to finish off the game, so definitely keep this in mind. The next myth is asking, can Fizz's E ability stop Fiora's ultimate? This is one of those kind of questions where you feel like you know the answer, but you're not 100% sure. But as we tested, the Fiora ultimate actually does not hit Fizz while he is on his pole from his E ability. Which is strange because something like a Fiddlestick's Drain will continue hitting Fizz during his E, even though I feel like the two abilities should work more or less the same. And the final one is asking, what happens if Bard ults whatever a champion is teleporting to? Another myth where I personally wasn't 100% sure as to how it would work, but I want to see if Bard's ultimate will mess up the teleport, since as I use it on the tower and then he ults the tower, technically the tower is not there for a split second, because Bard's ultimate puts it in a stasis, but it does not seem to interrupt the ultimate whatsoever nor cancel it. But what if we test it on minions? Is the interaction any different than it was on towers? And as he teleports on this minion right here and I ult it, it does not seem to delay the teleport nor cancel it, even though the minion is technically not there for those few seconds. Alright guys, that is it for this episode of the League of Myths series. If you did enjoy, please do throw in a like, share it with your friends, check out the previous episodes of this series and my other videos as well, and I will definitely see you for the next one. Peace.